What is going on YouTube? Today I am bringing you a fun little match versus my friend Joey, who wanted to get some practice versus LordKnightmon with the green deck. So I was saying, hey, let's do it. I'm down for the practice. I want some green practice as well, and so we're going to bring that here for you today, especially because this will end up being a very fun set as it turns out. So starting off, I just go Pedo into raising, and then my opponent goes to Cherrymon in raising, putting me at 2. So I could go up to Mega and put my opponent at 1. I could promote and just do something else, but I decided to just play Kodemon to search. I put Bushi at the top, and I leave Pedo in raising because I wanted to try and do something else. From what I remember, I think I have Knightmon, LordKnightmon in hand, but I didn't want to Digivolve the Knightmon into on top of my Pedo, so that way I could have it for the LordKnightmon. But after not getting it there or not getting a second Knightmon off of the Kodemon, I just decided to start setting up for LordKnightmon, and if I don't get another Knightmon by then I'll just have to live with it. My opponent does have their ultimate in raising as well, and so I decide to play Cutemon out because this will shut down Argomon's Digisorption, but it'll also shut down HPD, and I'm kind of down with just having that out there to prevent that, because he could just promote his ultimate and go into HPD, or he could use Argomon to Digisorb and get a Mega out while still having ultimate on the bench, just due to the Digisorption and the HPD effects. But Cutemon shuts that down. So you see they're going wide, lots of blockers, and I have my TK. This will be very good going forward because not being choked or having less than 3 memory ever is pretty much really bad for this deck, because we play off of 3 memory so much. Flower Cannon to suspend my Kodemon and then swings over with Vegiemon. I was a bit surprised by this, just because I would think that it would be more worth it to either pay the 2 memory to attack with a blocker or trade with the Vegiemon to get rid of the Cutemon, so that way Digisorption and HPD are both live. But decided to just clear off one of my Digimon and keep the Vegiemon alive, so there's still a lot of pressure. So I'm going to Starmons here to pop for 2, and then I play another Starmons to pop for 3. Just developing the board. I don't want to promote yet because I don't want to be swung over by the opposing Boncho Stingmon, nor do I want to really be Nidhogged. So I'm just trying to play on board, but I'm not really seeing the champions that I need to see. Going wider with the Starmons there just felt better to me, because at least I can start to get a wide board presence come the time where I may need to do some more attacking or swinging. Thinking about what to do here, I decide to go to Blinding Ray, going to 5, which will discard the Turimon, so that way I can just play Knightmon and get rid of one of the Lalamon. This puts my opponent at 2 memory. So now not only do I have LordKnightmon in raising, but with TK in play, I can threaten to go into another Mega on this Knightmon now, while also deleting one of my opponent's Digimon. Yeah, I had to get rid of one of my security, but all in all it's worth it in this matchup, because I feel since I'm playing cards like Patamon and Lucemon that can recover, as well as multiple blockers, I can play a little bit loosely with my security just to get an advantage. But now I'm able to go into War Greymon. I swing and I activate effect to go ahead and unstand and pop one of the blockers. And I'm going to go into Valderarm here, put my opponent to 6, but I do get to clear the board. And now I'm in a way better position, because this makes it to the point where my opponent is likely going to have to promote their Cherrymon just like this, because there's so much pressure and react to it. We're gonna see the Flower Cannon to suspend my Valderarm, and then Nidhogg, I do believe. Can't HPD it because of the Cutemon, so we'll have to just go for the full Digivolution cost of 5, and that will put me to 3 because of TK. But everything goes to the bottom and the board does get cleared, so that does end up working out. But now I'm just gonna bring out my LordKnightmon, and this is what I've been saving it for. So now I have this Knightmon to start reloading. Swing with the Knightmon, but I do have the other Valderarm, and I decide to just Valderarm, just clear the board, make it so my opponent can't bring anything out from raising. I'm gonna have Valderarm and Knightmon on board, which can go into a Mega next turn if I have one, and the Valderarm there just really secures a good spot on board. There was a little bit of a swing with the Nidhogg, but luckily with the LordKnightmon in raising, I can promote get more of a board presence going. And since I have 2 Valderarms, I don't know if I'm going to get better value out of it going forward, so I just Valderarm now, so that way the Nidhogg's not there, it can't go into a level 7, and it can't threaten to swing over my LordKnightmon. So my opponent plays Terriermon, which is going to be pretty annoying considering that I'll probably want to play Blinding Ray at some point. I can clear it with Knightmon, but I do decide to go with Lucimon, so that way I can get a bigger Digimon on board, and as well as recover. And then I know there's HPD in hand because I hit it in the security, so I'm going to go ahead and hard play the Cutemon to shut that down and make sure that there's no crazy mega plays coming out or another Nidhogg comes out, because with Cutemon it does shut down the Nidhogg because they would need to either or actually they don't shut down the Nidhogg, they can still Nidhogg, but I shut down the cheap Nidhogg, I should say. And going to 2, so now they can't go into Ultimate and go into Nidhogg. We can see in hand that they do have the Argomon and the HPD, so Cutemon putting in a ton of work right now. But my opponent just reveals their security and ends up scooping it up there because there wasn't going to be any winning that game with my board state, and LordKnightmon may have been able to play a Knightmon, which have just cleared the blocker and made it even worse situation. But getting into game 2, see a Digivolve into Terriermon. Looked a little hesitant to play it at first, likely wanted to save the Terriermon to shut off Blinding Rays, but didn't want to put me all the way up to 3 memory. I had multiple ultimates in hand, I remember, and I decided to go with the Sirenmon just to put the least amount of stats on board, or memory on board as possible for my opponent, because I didn't want them to develop too hard. I decided to promote so that way I could cycle out my rookies in my hand, and I didn't feel too rushed because playing the Cutemon there makes it so my opponent again can't Digizorb or HPD, so we see them put one of their Blossomon onto the bench instead of going for Digisorption. Putting Pitomon there, I assumed I had a rookie, or else I don't know why I promoted Sirenmon there, but I did. I'm not 100% sure why I promoted Sirenmon there without having a rookie. I don't remember 100% what my hand is, so it's obviously very hand dependent, but Unimon is going to protect me for a little bit. Having 2 6Ks is great because we're playing around Nidhogg a bit. We get the Bushi into Turi, and I believe I just go Mega onto the Sirenmon here. Or I may go Ultimate onto Turi. I believe that's what I'm thinking about, is if do I want to go Mega or do I want to go Ultimate. I decided to go Ultimate, but I decided to put it on the on play to shut down the Ultimate from having Security Attack -2, so there wasn't any crazy potential OTK cards or Chaos Mons or anything, because I wasn't 100% sure what the deck list was at this point. So I preferred to get, if I was going to put the Andromon out, I figured it was going to be safe on there either way. So getting it on there and giving Security Attack -2 did play around some security checks. Slash Andromon off the top, I believe, did get rid of the Cherrymon. I decided to go on top of the Sirenmon instead of the Andromon because I want to potentially tempt them to try to go over the Andromon, because I do believe I have Valderarm in hand, which means that with Slash Alive, it does incentivize my Valderarm. But also, if Andromon does live, I would prefer it to be under either a War Greymon or a LordKnightmon. So War Greymon on raising is pretty good here, due to me being able to threaten multiple kills. Like the Terriermon isn't going to be safe anymore because I can just pop it and Blinding Ray if I need to. And it can also pair really well with another Slash if I have it, or a Knightmon to clear off the Mega in the back. We see Bancho Stingmon. I'm not super worried about Bancho Stingmon because doing so is going to require either a Flower Cannon or a Lila Burst, which is going to get rid of more resources, and swinging over one of my Digimon will make it so I can promote War Greymon and threaten a lot more. But the best play that I think I could have potentially threatened here was actually putting out the War Greymon, because since I'm only an 11k Digimon, the Bancho Stingmon's not going to attack. My opponent tapped my card for me there because I did have to I think I was getting a call on my phone, and so I was checking that really quick. Valdararm ends up clearing my whole board, but I can bring out War Growlmon to pop the Terriermon here. And go into LordKnightmon. I swing into the Valdararm, targeting and playing the Knightmon to pop it down. It will delete, and I will go to 0 memory as they gain 3. But then I can play the Starmons, put my opponent at 3, clear their whole board, and now that was a complete board swing. I went from them clearing my board to me coming out clearing the board, and now I have a Mega, an Ultimate, and a Rookie. So I'm not only threatening to go into Mega, but with the Rookie on board, I can also go into a blocker, which just gives me more protection into my LordKnightmon. So this was a really good board swing and put me in a really good position. My opponent goes into Boncho here, which felt really good because that means they can't Nidhogg off that slot. So I can freely swing this turn and not have to worry about a potential Nidhogg. Yes, I may get attacked over, but I'm not going to worry too hard about that because of the fact that, like I said, I have so much board presence right now that even if one of my LordKnightmon gets attacked over, I can just play another one. Now I have 2 on board, and they're not both going to get attacked over. Rafflesimon plays Recover. My board is getting really huge right now. Playing a Pedomon to block, so it's even better. 2 blockers actually, so now both my LordKnightmon are very protected. Digivolve the Kodamon, and my board is really just huge right now. Going to play Pulsemon, and my opponent will go to 3 because of Mimi, but I draw. But both my LordKnightmons are at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. My opponent's going to swing, but he thinks that I'm at 15. He realizes that we're both at 16, so takes it back because he's not 100% sure if he wants to trade, because this would be a trade if they swing into it because of the boosts. Going to go with the Mimi to cycle, see what options there are. Digibursting, the Weedmon, and the Lalamon. So Lalamon goes to hand, Weedmon gains a memory, and this LordKnightmon can now not attack or block until the end of the next turn. We get a second Rafflesia on here. Yokomon gives the boost. Third Rafflesia. 3 Rafflesias, 1 turn. LordKnightmon can't attack. These both can't attack. And I believe because of the boost, it was at 17k, and I was only at 16, so I do get attacked over there. And my LordKnightmon can't attack, so this is unfortunate, and I couldn't block there. But I do still threaten. I have the Pulsemon and the Lucimon that can attack to get some extra security checks. Lilamon's going to come out, which can be a little terrifying for the next turn. I don't think I can get over this Rafflesia without some sort of cheaper DP reduction. If I had a Starmons, I could cheapen it and then swing over with the Lucimon. But I'm going to Digivolve the Turi here. Swing in with Pulsemon to trade, so that way there's less checks on my opponent's end, as well as Lucimon can just get put into, or I'm sorry, Pulsemon can just get put into the bottom of my deck with Nidhogg, so trading there just makes sense. Valdararm to clear off the Rafflesia just so there's less presence on board, and also the Argomon Inheritable is on there. We wanted to get rid of that. And just overall, I have much better board presence now. I can get Nidhogged. My opponent shows me the Rafflesia because I was laughing. I was like, there's no way you can have more, but in fact, did have more. Needle Spray. Yeah, Needle Spraying. This is obviously a Nidhogg. So Nidhogg's going to come. It's going to bounce all my board besides the Turi to the bottom of my deck. And yeah, so now I have a Turimon and 3 memories. So right here, the game went from me feeling like I was in really good control and just about to win the game to now I don't feel like I'm in a bad position per se, because Nidhogg itself is not super scary. Just being able to do 1 check isn't that big of a deal. But losing a lot of my board is pretty annoying. Security attack -2 just to slow down a little bit, and just in case there is the Chaosmon, which at this point I don't think there is, but it does help a little bit. Starmons is not going to have any effect, obviously. But this does put 3 potential bodies on the board with 2 checks, so it was a good play, but I do get Valderarmed once again, so I'm at 3 memory. I don't really know what I go for here. I think I need to build in bench up to a LordKnightmon and try to get some Bushis out. I go to LordKnightmon, I'm trying to figure out, or regular Knightmon, I'm trying to figure out if I have better play there, but I just don't have anything else better to do to make a better use of my memory. So I just Digivolve into Ultimate, wasting a few memory, but it's alright. My opponent plays Palmon and Digivolves into Vegemon. I just go into LordKnightmon and pass the turn to my opponent because I don't have any Tamers out. I think I have all my Tamers in hand actually, and I'm just not getting a good opportunity to use them. My opponent hatches their last egg with Mimi and puts the Tentomon on top. I do get choked down to 0. I swing targeting the Valderarm, but I will need DP reduction here. Oh no, I did just swing security. So I played the Bushi and I Valderarmed to clear the board, so now my opponent can't win the game just yet. Sees that he's running out of deck space, is going to trade Valderarm, so the memory won't change because we both gain 3 memory, so it'll stay the same. My opponent plays a Lalamon, which now they're just going wide on the board, and they have 3 checks, and I don't have really 100% anyway to fully stop this. I have 2 cards in deck to my opponent's 3 cards in deck, so I figured my only opportunity, I'm thinking about playing Knightmon here. I can Knightmon down one of the Digimon and kill one of my opponent's Digimon, and I'll have 2 checks to their 2 Digimon, but I decide to play Lucimon and recover and just put myself at 1 card because they're at 3, so they're 1 ahead of me. So if I'm going to deck out, then I'm going to deck out. At this point, I might as well just put a body on board and make sure I give them as little memory as possible, and playing Lucimon does give them 2 less memory because there I would have put them to 7, as where Lucimon puts them to 4. My opponent, we're having a good laugh right here because there's no way for him to really secure the game here without putting up blockers, and putting up blockers would cause for Digivolution costs. Could hard play here, but hard playing here gives me the opportunity to go up with Cutemon, but my opponent chooses to Digivolve, passes the turn, I pass back, and they deck out. So that was a great game. That was a funny game. I hope you all enjoyed, and before you leave, here's a great little short of Joey's amazing laugh. Have a great day.